Hello and welcome back everybody to another World of Warcraft gold farming video. So in this video we're going to be farming Hearty soup bones, crafting reagents, vendor trash as well as trading post parts. Now if you want trading post parts to drop off these mobs, you will need a level 2 trading post in your garrison, and if you have a free spot available and you already don't have the trading post, I do recommend building it. It's very easy to make. It only requires a few thousand garrison resources as well as a few thousand gold to buy the actual blueprints and a few hours to actually build the building. And I definitely recommend picking that up as trading post parts. There are a few rare ones that can drop, which will give you up to 10-20,000 gold per trading post parts, but usually they sell for about under 1,000 gold, 500-700 gold each, so that will boost your gold per hour by quite a bit. Other than that, if you get at least 20 of these Hearty soup bones, you can trade them into a vendor in an area called the Ring of Trial right here, and he'll give you about 7 gold and 32 silver for 20 of these. So even if you don't get lucky with the trading post parts, or if your auction house has very low prices for sumptuous fur and for the crafting reagent, you will still be making a decent amount of raw gold per hour from this farm. But other than that, we're going to be farming this here in Nagrand in Draenor, not in Outland, so remember to be sure you come here instead. What I do recommend picking up, if you don't have it already, is Draenor pathfinding. I mean, you can do it without Draenor pathfinding. There is another method that I will show you later in the route of this farm. However, it just makes things much simpler if you do have flying in Draenor. So let me get into the route of this farm. So basically what you want to do is stay within this general area right here and just kill all these beasts. So basically just go up to the ones that you find are the mostly densely packed. So as you can see, there's a bunch of them here. These are neutral mobs, so you will have to actually aggro them beforehand to actually make them come towards you. So if you are a druid, you'll have a very easy time of doing this with Starfall. So basically I just kill these mobs. They're actually very fun to kill as they're not very hard to actually destroy, and they do drop a lot of stuff. So here we go. As you can see, they drop a bunch of trash as well as the Hearty soup bones, sumptuous fur, and of course these crafting reagents which sell for a decent amount. As you can see, the global mean for this item is 5 gold and 38 silver, which is very nice. But other than that, basically there are 2 hotspots. There is this lake here, and watch when I fly over here, you'll see there's so many mobs here. As you can see, there's a bunch of talbooks here, just more than you can ever handle. So once you've basically cleared out this area, what I recommend doing is just moving to this area where this bone field is. There is a rare mob in the middle that spawns called Flint Hide. And there's a bunch of wind rocks here as well as talbooks, so this is a very nice place to farm as well. The respawn rate is about 2 to about 5 minutes, I'm not completely sure. However, what I'd recommend doing is every about 3 or 5 minutes, just come back to these 2 spots and just kill them again. In the meantime, what I recommend doing is coming up here. There's usually a few of them here. There's also, you can find a bunch of clefthwifts that are just riding around the area in packs. So you can see there's 2 here, and there's talbooks here, and there's a bunch of them around here, around this tree as well. So you can gather these guys up. But anywhere in this general area would do. These are just some good spots. If you don't have flying, what I do recommend doing is just sticking to the lake. Let me get to the lake first. So basically what you do is you just stick to the lake and just stick to the area which has basically the most mobs. And what you do is, since you're on a ground map, it will be quite inefficient for you to move around the whole zone. So you will have to use an add-on called Cross Realm Assist, or you can use the pre-made group finder tool, of course. But I'll leave a link in the description for this add-on. So what I recommend doing if you don't have a flying mount is just riding around this lake. It will be a bit repetitive and not as fun as flying around the area, of course, but I guess you would have to do that if you don't have a flying mount. So competition wise, I was here for a few hours and I basically saw no one in competition with me farming this area. It's not a very popular area, however it still is very good for making gold, and this is one of the reasons why it's good for making gold. You might find a few quests, of course, but they're not really a big issue. If you do have competition on your server, you can easily just hop onto another server using pre-made group finder tool or Cross Realm Assist. Other than that, guys, let me get into the gold breakdown. So I farmed this area for 20 minutes and I got 800 Hearty soup bones, and in total that came up to 293 gold. I vended 10 greens for 233 gold. I got 320 gold worth of trash, so just grey items, food items, just anything I didn't need. I just vended that. And I got 197 sumptuous fur, which sell for 2 gold and 11 silver each, for 416 gold in total. I got 14 raw cleft tooth meat, which sell for 2 gold and 29 silver each, for 32 gold. I got 63 raw talbuk meat, which sell for 5 gold and 38 silver each, for 339 gold. I got 19 raw elect meat, which sell for 2 gold and 28 silver each, for 43 gold. I got 1 super cooling tubing, and of course if you don't have the trading post parts you won't be able to get this item, but that sells for about 399 gold. So in total in 20 minutes I made 2075 gold. And if you calculate that out per hour, that's about 6,225 gold. So that's very good as for this farm. A lot of this would be raw gold mixed in with some vendor stuff and a bunch of RNG stuff regarding the trading post parts. So just keep that in mind. But other than that, anything above 4,000 gold in general, I would consider a farm that's worth doing, whether it's raw gold, auction house farming, transmog farming, RNG farming, etc. So this is quite a decent farm. So as for my final thoughts on this farm, you'll be getting a bunch of raw gold from this, so even if you don't get lucky with your auction house prices, or if your stuff just won't sell for some reason, you'll still have the backup of raw gold. There's a chance at the trading post part, so if you like the RNG element to it, there is that RNG side to it, so if you do get lucky, you might get some trading post parts worth, usually about 1,000 and under gold, and sometimes if you're very lucky, you might get one worth 10,000 gold or 20,000 gold, but of course I haven't factored that into the price. No professions are needed, so with a lot of my other farms, especially my potion farming, having tailoring for example is very nice to have as it gives you a bonus in cloth drops. So these mobs don't actually drop cloth, they drop sumptuous fur instead, so tailoring doesn't really do anything here. So you don't actually need any professions, unless of course you want to skin these mobs, but I don't recommend doing that unless you're actually searching for those specific items. And it's just generally enjoyable. You just get to fly around Nagrand, which I think in my opinion is one of the best looking zones in the game. But I guess that's the end of this video, guys. Like and favorite if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you want to see more gold guides like this from me in the future. Until next time, guys, bye!